What's better than running and jumping? Friggin' roller coasters. Oh, sure, Mario can save the princess and grow a tail and fly for some reason, but Sonic can gain speed rolling down hills and walk slowly up them. See, Sonic Team knew that a slow build-up followed by a huge swing in momentum would create a satisfying feedback loop that would reward skilled play. But with the sequel, they realized something. What's the only thing better than delayed gratification? Instant gratification. No more of that going slow crap. Marble Zone, forget about it. Spindash, baby. Anytime you want to go fast, you just look down, press a button a few times, and bada bing, top speed. Also, they added a guy with tails that flies. Ugh! The Spindash is cool and all, and I do think the sequels are fundamentally better games than the original. I just think something about Sonic's original design philosophy is lost when speed is pretty much the default state of the gameplay, instead of something you can only earn through mastery of the level design. This is most obvious in Sonic 1, where every re-release since 2006, including the new remaster in Sonic Origins, has added the Spindash retroactively. Look at its good-ass level design. In the original game, you could get to this hidden alcove, and if you use this runway to build up enough speed to roll through the wall, you could get a speed shoes power-up. You could then charge through the level until you came to this loop, and then use the added speed from the power-up to bank off of this ramp with enough momentum to reach a 1-up on top. In Sonic Origins, you just come to this ledge and jump after spin dashing, and boom, you're there. I bet there's clever level design all over the place in the sequels that we miss because we're too busy spin dashing through all of it. I'm irrationally angry over this optional addition that harms no one, and I'm gonna take out my frustration in video form. So today we're gonna be answering the question, can you beat all 4 games of Sonic Origins without using the spin dash? The rules. Number 1, performing a spin dash is defined as pressing the down button to crouch, pressing the jump button to charge, and finally releasing down to shoot off in a burst of speed. Second, we also won't be using the drop dash shoehorned in from Sonic Mania. If we perform either of these moves on accident or otherwise, the Twitch chat will roast the ever-loving shit out of me and we'll have to restart the level. Lastly, we must defeat the final boss and reach the credits for all 4 games. Despite being hella, and might I say, shamefully out of practice in Sonic 1 without the spin dash, it is how I played the game from the ages of 4 to 24, so I'm sure it can't be that debilitating. Green Hill Zone goes rather swimmingly, including the boss, which you'll have to take my word for, since I block the gameplay with my face cam like a troglodyte. I'm on cloud 9 as we roll through Piss Baby Easy Land and can foresee in no possible way this challenge could be a threat to my sanity. But boy howdy, have I forgot about the rest of the goddamn game. Just as I'm beginning to think Marble and Springyard will fall swiftly to my vast going fast experience, to give it just a little bit more, Springyard would be better designed if we didn't have these elevators. Literally get rid of these elevators and Springyard Zone's fucking, but you know, cope, what can I say? And then we come to Labyrinth, where we take a shortcut you need a fucking level editor to find to get through Acts 1 and 3, and then avoid furiously choking at the very end of the boss fight like we have many times before, so that we may glide like a razor over my soft, flat ass through starlight and into scrap brain. Whee! Where we tolerate no bullshit from the round man and round up Sonic 1, where glowy rocks I've never seen before in my life lead us to West Side Island and Sonic 2. Sonic CD, since everybody knows 1993 came before 1992. After experiencing the absolute fucking banger intro cinematic, we plow through Palm Tree Panic practically completely unimpeded. With CD's level design being built around exploration and scripted speed sequences intended to take advantage of the time travel mechanic, I was beginning to think the spin dash would be completely unnecessary for yet another playthrough until we are utterly bodied by a half pipe coupled with the absolute hellspawn we call bumpers. I begin to wonder just how much dirt a twink like me may reasonably consume before combustion when, by the wild grace of the Wicked Witch, we somehow defy gravity and escape the shit-eating. Okay, bad example. We then have the privilege to experience what may be the worst pinball simulation in a game franchise unbelievably bloated with pinball simulations. Tidal Tempest filling the shoes of our token water level means that we wouldn't be going fast even if we could spin dash, so that zone goes about as smooth as it usually does. Like sandpaper. A Bulbaman fight later, and we find ourselves in sunny Quartz Quadrant, where the abundance of conveyor belts practically play the stage for us, and we're propelled involuntarily into Wacky Workbench. Okay, I fucking hate Wacky Workbench, bruh. And I, for one, would rather not recount it. The stage sucks. Stardust Speedway is yet another zone that mostly plays itself, but we are quickly thrust into a rude awakening where, without the Spindash, Metal Sonic is waiting to clap our bodacious booty cheeks. You fall behind, you lose. You try to get ahead and get your tail tickled by Metal Sonic's dash attack, you lose. You run into Metal Sonic's signature move, the static bitch-ass flashing thing, you lose. You jump into the same spikes over and over and over again, you lose. Good day, sir. But as long as we do literally none of that somehow, we make it to the end just fine and give the cameraman a stroke for some reason before rescuing the prince. Wait, she's a princess? Princess Sally! With Princess fucking Sally free to harass Sonic again, we plunge into Metallic Madness, where, to my absolute shock, we are once again not impeded by the lack of spin dashing whatsoever. And after bowing down to the unmatched glory of Chibi Sonic, we break the fan blades off of what might be the most anticlimactic final boss in Sonic's 30-year history, and check the second game of the challenge off our list. Sonic 2 was the first game really designed with the spin dash in mind, so while I anticipated this is where the challenge was going to get significantly more ball busting, I was not prepared for what was really in store. The first time we were impeded without the spin dash was in the first zone of the game at this half pipe. The game expects us to either hit this ramp with speed shoes, which I did the first time through, before finding literally the first bottomless pit in the game, twice, or spin dash up it, which I can't do. If there's already an impossible slope in the first level, what am I to do? How am I to progress?
Who stole my wallet?
Well, as it turns out, you just take the bottom route. And fucking get this, there is literally no other point in the game where we come upon a route that we can't access without the spin dash. Some do exist that we just conveniently avoid. I know that there's a shortcut to skip the water section in Chemical Plant, so that's only if you fall back into the water after already completing it the first time. We get a little nervous at this slope, guarded by the most broken fucking enemy in a Sonic game, when he somehow just knocks us up on the platform and we continue on unfazed. You know what? I'll fucking take it. The only thing even slightly more difficult is the boss battle with Mecha Sonic that I usually cheese. With Sonic 2 proving to be the third game in a row to be piss easy, I began to worry. Does this even count as a challenge run? Is this video going to crash and burn?
Who stole my wallet?
But I was a fool. See, there is one thing that's going to stand in our way of completing Sonic 3 more than anything we've yet encountered. Fucking walls. Let me explain. In Sonic 1, Green Hill Zone has these walls you can spin through to cut through different parts of the level, if you build up enough speed to break them first. This concept wasn't seen again until Sonic 3, where they are all over the place. Angel Island is still perfectly possible, as most of these destructible walls are placed somewhere you can get plenty of speed first, and most of those are only hiding secrets instead of blocking progress. In Act 2, we can make use of this game's fire shield to use a jump dash to clear some of the walls on the way to the boss. But as in any video game, the fun stops when we get to the goddamn water level. We clear Hydrocity Act 1 just fine, but Act 2 starts off dead in the water. There's simply no way to gain enough momentum underwater to break these walls right at the beginning of the act. And even if we could, the section immediately following has a fucking wall come to tickle our pickles with completely unscalable half pipes as our only escape. Unfortunately, these putrid fucking glorified sewer pipes have become our tomb, as well as the burial ground for any hope of this challenge being successful. If only there were someone, some hero that could save us.
Knock, knock, it's Knuckles.
You see, the devs gave this Red Echidna the unique, never-before-seen ability to knock down breakable walls at the slightest touch instead. With Knuckles, we go all Gorbachev and tear down these walls no problem. Then we carefully climb our way up these half pipes and perform just a little bit of ancient Echidna voodoo magic. I'll fucking take it. And by the skin of our pubic hairs, we Andy Dufresne our way out of the literal shithole and get to continue our adventure. Our next roadblock comes in Marble Garden, where these blue wheel fucking rolly things block our path in critical places where you are supposed to spin dash to get them to move parts of the level to progress. Lucky for us, if we go to charge a spin dash while standing on top, the game launches us off in this weird half rolling state, and we do not get launched when we hit the ground, which means by the rules of this challenge, we do not technically perform a spin dash. The rest of Marble Garden and Carnival Night go pretty smooth. Okay, moderately smooth. Okay, okay? I haven't fucking done a Knuckles run in a while, okay? What do you want from me? Anyways, after getting this dick munch out of our sight, they didn't even bother designing Knuckles a boss for Carnival Night 2, so we move right on up to Ice Cap, where the challenge dies immediately. This pillar is supposed to be cleared by spin dashing through and underneath it. It should technically be possible to perform a simple roll underneath it, but even running full speed from the teleporter doesn't give us enough momentum to trigger it and continue with the level. And thus, our no spin dash challenge dies with but a whimper. Or so I thought. We go ahead and take the L and promise the stream we would return to Ice Cap if we proved that there were no more spin dashes required in the game, because there was still one idea I had that would require us to return later. So we press on through the rest of Ice Cap mostly unimpeded, and then give Big Arms a big fisting to complete the Sonic 3 half of the game and move on to Mushroom Hill, where we are reminded of the old adage, who needs to spin dash when you can just hold X. Act 2 brings in the awful fucking fall decor. I swear to God, just go from Halloween to Christmas, all right? I'd rather have COVID again than look at this fucking garbage. Fuck. Anyways, there we are minding our own business when a goddamn, whatever this is supposed to be, attaches to our body and rubber bands us back if we try to escape. It turns out the only way to wiggle your way out of this sorry excuse for a snare trap is to fucking spin dash. So we restart the level in the hopes of finding another route. Those level designers at Sega were sneaky. They said, oh dear, we don't want anyone to progress without understanding this entirely necessary lever mechanic. So we are railroaded into this trap while the voluptuous cock runs a train on us. After a tricky jump, we get by just by the skin of our labia, just for us to get cucked by another one immediately after. That is sheer agony. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? We restart the level again and make the labia jump again and speed through the rest of Mushroom Stamp Hill Zone and onto Flying Battery, where we fudge some level geometry to get through this loop and then frolic merrily onward until we are curb stomped abruptly by whatever you fucking call this level obstacle, which we then simply avoid by taking a different route through the level. A similar issue comes up in Sandopolis Act 1, where we have yet another half pipe impeding our progress, this time with a sand wall of sorts that requires a spin dash to knock down. So like with anything that causes me anxiety, we simply avoid it by gliding up to this area above that has both a special stage ring and an alternate way forward. I prefer dreams where all my teeth fall out to the living nightmare that is Sandopolis Act 2. That's an everyday thing, and foregoing the spin dash doesn't really make it all that more agonizing. We utterly cheese the living feces out of generic brand egg golem and run fists blazing into Lava Reef Zone, where our puns are rudely interrupted by the impalement from this rocket spike platform thing. What the fuck are these obstacles? Brilliant. I legit don't know how we're gonna get past that. These elevators normally require the spin dash to move up and down, but as it turns out, Knuckles' route through the level requires exactly 0 elevators. We then use Knuckles' intimate knowledge of Angel Island's inner workings to take these hidden tunnels straight to Hidden Palace, where we take a humble teleporter to Sky Sanctuary and the end of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. There was literally only a single mountain left to climb. During my experimentation on stream, I found a possible lead here at the start of Ice Cap. If we jump the moment we come out of the tunnel at the start and then glide, we can attach to this wall that is otherwise unclimbable. We climb up the wall, ignore the magic snowdrift, and glide down to the mountain that Sonic snowboards down in his version of the stage, where we try to gain speed by rolling down in the hopes of having enough speed to clear the unbreakable wall. But alas, the wall stops us on a dime, but I noticed something. We picked up quite a few rings while sliding down the mountain, so I got a convoluted idea. Off stream, I started a new save file and went back through the first 4 zones of the game, this time collecting the Chaos Emeralds as I went. We returned to Ice Cap Zone, but this time we're different. This time, we cannot be stopped. We time our jump carefully and climb up the wall to begin scaling the mountain. We meticulously glide and slide up every inch of goddamn slope, collecting every single ring we can along the way. As we approach the cliff where Sonic begins his stage, we cascade all the way back down to our starting point, ending up with a grand total of exactly 50 rings in our possession. With that, it was time for us to test my theory. Let's fucking go! And there you have it. It is indeed possible to complete Sonic Origins without using the spin dash. Unless you count those rollers in Marble Zone.